decade of Afro-descent attempts to shed light on the structural discrimination that has long been in place regarding Afro-descendants in many parts of the world. And the General Assembly recognized this when passing a resolution last year to inaugurate this decade, where through a series of regional conferences, and beginning with this one here in Brasilia this year, we will properly analyze the extent of the suffering, the challenges faced by Afro-descendants in these regions, with a view of trying to change the dynamic such that the deep discrimination, the levels of poverty, the levels of denial of basic human rights when it comes to education, healthcare, when it comes to access to the very instruments of government, the democratic institutions, this can all be at least reversed for the future generations of Afro-descendants. There is a broad appreciation that they suffer disproportionately at the hands of excessive police tactics in the criminal justice systems, in the access to the very basic services that are needed for life and that are very much part of the human rights framework. And so we are, as OHCHR, are proud to be doing this work together with many partners, most especially, of course, after the governments, the civil society actors, and those associations representing Afro-descendants. Well, it's clear from the Sustainable Development Goals that the overarching theme is not leaving anyone behind. And in many societies, it is the Afro-descendants that are those traditionally who have been left behind, together with indigenous communities and others. And of course, we don't forget women and children of Afro-descent, most especially. But you have also those with disabilities, and so those who suffer from number of different pressures. And we hope that the SDG framework will enable a new thinking such that development must be undertaken from a rights-driven approach. And so certainly we see these as overlapping. One shouldn't also forget that the SDGs, unlike the MDGs, is universal in its outlook. So it looks at all countries. And here this is fundamentally important because it's not just Afro-descendants in the developing world, but also in the OECD countries and elsewhere. And I think this is a fundamental point we have to make.